think what ministers or people don't understand is like, oh, I'm not healed of this depressive symptoms. I'm going to go mild. And then you build a resentment at God.
Yes, because you're not healed.
Because you're not healed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's because, as we said in another taping, was like, heck, because the plan needs to change.
It's changed. Yes, the plan needs to shift.
It's not you.
Needs to adjust.
The plan is flawed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most definitely we live, because like when you're talking about depression and anxiety, because in my work, I see that like almost everybody is coming in with some symptoms of depression or anxiety or both.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, I think, because our society is, I don't want to say it's not getting better, but we have more crisis, more trauma, more and more stressors, more and more things are happening that are bringing that's leaning on our mental health more.
I agree.
And so you're going to see it because if we start looking at the numbers, it's like 1 out of, and it's usually less than 10 or less than 5 have some form of a mental health or mental illness. You see it because we look at like the months when month to mental health awareness month.
Yes.
1 month, but it doesn't go away.
It doesn't.
So what you gonna do the other 11?
Yes.
But that's a whole different
conversation.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yes.
But if we can bring those things together and be willing to have those conversations and being able to be willing to step out there and say, like, help seeking, ask for help.
Exactly. I say all the time to people, I was like, my children will have a primary care physician and will have a therapist just the same, right?
Yeah.
Like, your therapist is just like what you need for you to be holistic.
Yes.
You will have that. So you will have an OB, you will have a primary care physician, you will have a therapist, you will have a dentist, right? Like,
all of
those things you will have because that, I know if my children are not emotionally and mentally okay, then they will not be the best version of themselves. And what matters to me as a parent is that my children always feel that they are the best version of themselves.
Yes.
And so my friends laugh at me because I always say to them, they're watching, they're really okay. I'm like, they're gonna have you in therapy. Like about their kids. Like if they say something to their kid, I'm like, you're gonna be in therapy for that.
They're gonna talk about that.
They're gonna talk about that because I do believe generations behind us are definitely way more open.
They're more open. They're more open to have the conversation. They're more open to have a therapist. Because I was having a conversation with one of the therapists that I supervise, and we were just talking about how we are realizing that it's becoming, we don't want to say a trend, but it's good to say that I have a therapist.
Yes.
Or there's, I like to see when people are excited, like, oh, I can't wait to go to therapy so I can tell my therapist about this, because it's about an awareness, but it's like they are more open. They're like, oh, it's almost like, you don't have a therapist? Oh, you don't have those new shoes.
Exactly, it is. It is. And I think that is, I love it. I love it. I just, like I said, probably before, I want us to grab that generation, like, before us, like, come on, y'all. Y'all can get in on this too.
Because you can still, like I said, you're not too old to get your healing.
I mean, just the traumas that I have seen in generations before me, and just that were never addressed.
And the other thing, we still talk about, because like post traumatic slave disorder, because like it talks about like we are still imprinted from things that happened back in slavery that shows up in 2019 going into 2020. Those things are still imprinted because my sister and I had a conversation because we were talking about why do people hoard or things like that, and or why do they, they're not thinking they're hoarding, but they're holding on to things. But think about like from slavery when you didn't have enough to eat or enough of clothes and stuff. So you now it's like, because I have the finances, I have the abundance, I can buy as many pair of shoes that, I don't need them, but I can buy these because I have access to it. Or I can buy clothes, or I can buy these things. And they add up, they accumulate. But it's like, where did that come from? And then you start thinking about it goes back to slavery of not having enough.
It's so
or somebody telling you what you can or cannot have.
So true. So I think, like, I think our overall, I'll speak for me, hope or goal in it is just that we talk about it so that you feel comfortable talking about it, so that you go out there and change the world by, like, having those uncomfortable conversations and talking with maybe you're close with a deacon or a deaconess, maybe you're close with somebody on a different ministry, maybe you
just
say,
have
like,
those conversations.
Man, we really need to get with First Lady. We need to get with Pastor. We need to get with First Lady. Pastor might be a lady, so get with whoever Pastor is and have the discussion about how do we implement this in our church, because we know that is where Black folks get their information from. Shucks. Everybody else might be using Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to get their information. But we like, what Pastor? What First Lady said? Yes. So we need to know, because the church holds all that information. Yes. And I believe if we can bridge these two things together, man, then everybody will be rocking our therapy and Jesus shirts. Yes. Yes, I have a therapist and I have Jesus. Have everybody rocking those. Yes. I mean, what? We starting here in Nashville, so wherever you are, you started there. And tell us about it, how you pulled that off, how you made that happen, because that's important to us. I mean, we are seeing celebrities talk about it. More and more. We are challenged. We don't need them to only be the people talking about it. No, we need to be talking about it. In bantering with our friends, we need to talk about it too. Having these conversations, because as you see, we get passionate about it because that's all our lane. We ride that lane, okay? But it is nice to hear that ministers that are having these big conferences are introducing, these seminars and these classes. Yes. So that did fill my heart, Joy. Yes. So shout out, because most of the pastors doing that. Potter's House, Bishop Jake. Yep. Bishop Jake has been on this for some years. Yes, and so it's amazing to know that we don't really talk about, but our pastor is definitely an advocate of mental health. Yes, shout out Bishop Walker, Mount Zion. Yes, he's about that too, and he's really open to having those discussions, because he'll talk about it from the pulpit. He'll talk about his own experience. Yes. So it's, so we come from it and we see the difference when the pastor talks about it, can have on the congregation. So that is why we feel like, oh gosh, if you can get your church to start doing it, and you get your church, oh my goodness, we can change the world. Right? Can you see the healing that would take place in the nation? Girl. Like they said, there's a bomb in Gilead. I love this, girl. Exactly. So we are just, we've been holding out this conversation, but we were like, okay, before the year's up, we need to have it. So, I'm going to throw this jab because it's what I do. We got Kanye West up in churches talking about mental health too. So, we can't let Kanye be out there talking about it and not us. Some of y'all hating on Kanye. I'm just saying. Some of y'all, and I had to check myself. I'm like, he's a witness. I don't know if it's good, if it's right or wrong, but he's witnessing, and he's doing some things that us as me, I can only say for myself, as a Christian, I haven't been doing. I'm like, it made me have to check my witness. I was like, if I let Kanye beat me talking about Jesus, I was like, so, Christian. I'm like, and God was like, he checked my spirit. He's like, yeah, Kanye got you on that, girl. I was like, what I can't appreciate about Kanye, and I think we all know that, so totally different, but on the same track. Kanye has always professed his love of Christ. Jesus, wow. Yes, but I think when his mom passed, it definitely had an effect on him. And a person who just lost their mother recently. Yeah. The world does look a little darker, and a little shade of gray does come in, because there is nothing like that lost to me. But I've never experienced anything like this. And so I do believe that and I'm not a celebrity, so I don't even know what is available to you. You are a celebrity. You didn't say last I was a celebrity. She didn't say that earlier. But I feel like you get these temptations that are, you get that I won't experience. Those invitations is out there on the thing. Yes, and so those things that impact at a higher level. And so I think he has just found his way home, and I think that is beautiful. And I'm like, y'all know I talk about Kanye because it brings me joy. But I'm like, we rejoice when one lamb, they will go find one lamb that's lost and leave the 99 behind. And heaven rejoices when one person comes to him. So I feel like, they high-fiving and they're super excited about it. I don't think our question is, why are we giving it so much attention? But it's all good. I'm excited we
Because
are.
we have something to argue about.
I mean,
something to fuss about.
something to fuss about.
Play about.
Jeez. But good. I'm happy for him. But like I said,
Yeah.
he's out there talking about it. So what's your excuse?
Right.
I mean,
That's
what's
a whole
your
conversation.
excuse? So we are glad we were able to get this conversation before the end of the year.
Yeah.
That was so important to us.
And we did it.
Yes, and we are excited that we got to share it with you. Please let us know what you have been talking about when it comes to faith and church and mental health and mental illness and diagnosing. And what have you and your friends been talking about? What have you been bantering about? What is your church doing?
Yes.
Because we would love to know what other churches are doing out there to address this need in the community.
And if you're a mental health professional, tell us what you're doing in your community.
Yes, and if you're
Share
a
with us.
mental health professional in Nashville, DM us.
Yes, and let us know because we're working on some things to help to pull together
Some
a more-
collaboration.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you're in the community doing it, please drop a line and let
Yes,
us know
let us
so
know.
we can, and send us your information, what you specialize in, what you do, so
All
we
those
can
things.
start getting all that stuff together.
Yes.
So,
And as you know, what we say, subscribe to the YouTube channel
Get on
if
it.
you have not.
get on it.
Brown Girl Banter
Yes.
on YouTube.
Yes.
And you can always follow me on IG at I am Dr. Dangerfield.
Follow me at I am Dr. Patience. You can follow our Instagram page at,
I am Brown Girl Banter.
and if you've watched November, you know we talk about our Facebook page, which is Professional Brown Girls.
That's a whole other thing. But
Try it,
yeah,
guys.
check us out on that.
We tried. So just make sure you go there and like that page. We put a lot of updates on there
Yes.
as well. So we appreciate you. Have a good one. Keep bantering. Have a great day. Bye, Brown Girl Banter.
Bye.